What's up, everybody?
What's up, y'all?
Welcome to the Tug of War.
Guys, so glad you're here. It's a little cold and rainy here at the
Yes.
Tug of War Studios.
It is.
It's a little cold and rainy today.
I don't like it.
When I was youth pastoring, we had a night that on a Wednesday night, a big storm blew in, and our like lead pastor came in and he was like, "Send everybody home." It's like, dude, it's literally a tornado out here. And he was like, you know, liability. Like, get these kids out of
the property.
Get these kids out of the building
What
so
if
it
they
falls down.
crash on the way
It was
home?
bad. It was a bad choice. But we didn't. So we didn't do it. And we got to kind of fight a little bit. And so we
Oh.
kept the kids in here.
Yeah.
But then I started. Well, it was our pastor's dad.
Oh, okay.
Who had been the pastor.
Oh, okay.
And so I wrote a rap about it's getting cold and rainy, and I had a bunch of kind of not really respectful lines about how this pastor said, "Send them home in a rain." I was saying a bunch of stupid stuff. So anytime it's cold and rainy.
You want to do that rap?
Yeah. Anytime it's getting cold and rainy, I think it's getting cold and rainy.
That's really funny. I've actually never heard that one before.
That's stupid.
Well, today...
It's a little dreary out.
It's cold and rainy, and we're not sending anybody home, though. We're working and trying to push into all that God has called us to. In fact, that's what we talk about here on the podcast every week. It's just two friends, conversation. What?
Winnie's trying to get that intro.
I try hard to make it connect. But today we're going to talk about something exciting, yeah?
Yeah, it's cold and rainy.
It's cold and rainy, yeah.
It really affects you, how you feel.
It affects how I behave and 100% how I feel. Sometimes when it's raining like multiple days in a row, I'll be like, I'm so sad. And then Aaron will be like, it's just the rain, calm down. Because it really does. It affects you.
Your environment massively affects
It does for
how you
me.
feel unless you make a choice.
That's true. You have to choose that it's happy. You just saw me on the last podcast. I was wearing like a bright teal sweatshirt. I did that on purpose that day because I was having kind of a sad day. And I was like, I'm going to wear something happy. It'll make me happy.
You know, something we say a lot here is we say that energy is a choice.
Yeah, right.
Having energy, it's something you choose.
That's
Energy
true.
does not come from the food that you eat.
No.
Right? It does not come from sleep. It's a decision. You know, I stole that from Tony Robbins.
That's who you stole it from? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's good.
You know who Tony Robbins
Yeah,
is? He's
100%.
like
He's
big.
like the big
He's like
guru.
6'5". He's like the biggest head in the
People
world.
pay like $6,500 to go to his little sessions.
So he does this whole like energy is a choice thing. And
Yeah.
I heard it like in high school. And it just has always stuck with me.
Yeah.
That you have to choose it. And so when it's cold and rainy or whatever, choose that. But we had somebody, where were we? One of our volunteers or somebody was like, yeah, but isn't that?
They were like, you're fake. That's fake. That's what they said.
Did they say it like that?
Yeah.
Is it someone who was leaving the
It was
church?
one of our interns, young people.
Who's been out of shape
That
about
was just
something?
been out of shape.
And so I'm like, no, it's not fake.
He was like, that's just phony. Why are you being phony? You're giving a false perception that you're energetic. And I'm like, no. Because I think for them, their personality is not energetic. And because you and I have a energetic personality anyway, that's why they felt that way. Like, you're trying to put your personality on me. I'm like, no, that's a different thing. You could still have energy even if you're not loud and obnoxious like the two of us.
You choose to turn on.
That's right.
And be engaged.
Yes, you choose that what you're doing right now.
Maybe we can talk energy as a choice.
Well, I guess we are, but you choose that right now what I'm doing deserves my best effort.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't get enough sleep last night, or even though I was fighting with my spouse before I got here, or even though whatever was happening around me, the choice today is that what I'm working on, what I'm have said yes to, what responsibility I'm carrying is going to get my full energy and attention, even if it's not the thing I'm feeling it.
If you listened to your feelings,
they will betray you every time.
I'm telling you, if I only did what I felt, I would be 500 pounds.
The world we live in.
Maybe 1,000 pounds.
You would not be 1,000.
Whitney, if all I ever did was what I feel,
that would be a massive problem.
I'm just saying our feelings, they betray us.
They betray us. And the problem is the world we live in tells us, though, that we have to follow our feelings.
But as a leader, if you're someone who's tugging into more, you can't always follow your feelings.
You can very rarely follow your feelings.
Do you know how many times I would have quit my job?
Yeah. 3 times last week.
I would have quit being a pastor 1,000 times.
Right.
I would have not walked up on stages to preach 80% of the times I was preaching.
Yeah.
If I just went off of what I feel. But we have to choose.
Right.
This is what I'm called to do. This is what I said yes to. Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't want to cook my kids dinner.
Correct. I was going to say.
Do you,
I think,
moms, dads, do you want to cook your kids dinner? No. Forget them kids complaining about you eat a cheese stick for the rest of your life. But like, it's the same thing as leadership.
Right.
I don't want to do laundry.
Right.
Or fold laundry.
Well, I think that's the best example of like our home is, as moms, as dads, like I don't get a choice there. I have to choose to make sure my kids stay alive, make sure I feed them, make sure I provide for them. These are places where I don't. And so what can tend to happen is the area where we're called to, the things that we're tugging into, the thing that really we care about, we are like, oh, but I have a choice there. No, you don't have a choice there either unless you want to be a loser, be a scrub, be a punk.
Never pull into more.
Right.
Not stop tugging and just be satisfied with where you're at.
Right. And so you have no choice but to make the choice to have energy. Go.
Choose to jump in it.
Yeah.
So it's raining here.
That's right.
And at my house, whenever it rains really hard, something horrible happens. So both my neighbors behind us put in pools. Mm-hmm. So their entire backyard is now concrete.
Yeah.
And so what happens is all the rain from their roof and backyard, all of that comes in our backyard. And so we've got the back of our house, on the back of our property, is where my mother-in-law lives. We have a little mother-in-law house.
A casita.
A casita.
That's what it's called.
That she lives in. And when it rains really hard, water will seep into her closet.
Yeah. I've been there and I've helped rip out carpet there before.
Dude.
It's happened.
And so I've done everything, just put in the French drains, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just out there doing my best, putting in French drains and all this stuff.
You got all of them.
And so I dug this great big pit and put a big blue barrel in it, like a 55-gallon drum, and have a sub pump that goes in it and a pipe that goes all the way around the front of the yard. And so when it fills up with water, it pumps out. Well, sometimes now that they've put in these pools, it can't deal with the rain.
It can't, yeah.
And so this morning, it's raining, and my mother-in-law calls Rachel in Spanish, yelling all kind of stuff, that there's water getting in the house.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I didn't want to do this morning.
You didn't want to go dig in the mud?
I did not want to go outside while it's 45 degrees.
Right.
I have to be at the church. I do not want to go and I'm laying in mud.
Right.
Just a few hours ago, I was laying in mud with my arms down in a dark, cold, watery mud hole.
Right.
Trying to get pipes to connect back together.
Right.
I got it fixed because I'm the man.
Right.
Because I didn't give up. Now, I didn't want to do that.
Right.
But I did that not because I'm fake, not because I felt like it, not because I'm being manipulative. I did it because it had to get done.
Right.
And sometimes as a leader, stuff has to get done.
Well,
and so if you walk around looking like Eeyore everywhere, you know Eeyore? Mm-hmm. Do people of this generation Eastern know who Eeyore is? No? Golly, old as a mug. Eeyore is in Winnie the Pooh. He's this little donkey.
Womp, womp. Yeah.
Little donkey's blue, and he's always has his head down. He's all bent out of shape. Then you got Tigger, who's jumping around, bouncing everywhere. No, I'm not saying you have to live in Tigger mode.
Right.
But if you're going to just always be an Eeyore, nobody wants to follow that.
Well, the other part of that is that when you could have made the choice, I'm going to go to work today. I'm going to not deal with this right now. I don't want to be in the mud. It's cold. I'll wait till the rain stops, blah, blah, blah. However, if you would have made that choice, the closet would have been flooded completely.
Oh, I have a worse problem.
The stuff would have been ruined in her closet.
Yeah.
Eventually, you would have had to pay to replace door frames and all kind of pieces around the house. And so often we think, well, I don't want to make this choice today because I'm just not feeling it. But what we don't realize is the repercussion and the ripple effect that actually comes when you won't choose something small, like the energy to go and show up and give your best effort to it. You're actually causing more damage to the thing you feel called to the area and where you're trying to make grow, to the culture of your home, whatever it is. You're causing more damage because you don't want to be fake. Because I'm not going to be. I'm not feeling it today, so I'm not fake. I'm gonna choose what I feel. No. You're choosing damage that is actually more long-term and more painful, more costly than to just suck it up and do what you're supposed to do, Buttercup.
Yeah, there's a few moments that I think that we are allowed to allow our emotions to be in charge. But it's very few and far between.
Okay. What are those?
I'm saying you and I have worked together for 7 years.
Yeah.
And I think there's been 2 times, I know one, where I came to you and I said, hey, I can't lead staff meeting today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have some stuff going on.
Can't do it.
Personally. Now, it might have to do with the church, but I can't turn it up right now.
Right.
I am heavy, burdened, overwhelmed, and I need you to do it, and I need to go. But I'm talking staff meeting. Has it been once or twice I've done that?
Maybe twice in all of.
So 7 years.
All of time.
I think that 7 years, that there are the occasional moments 100%. that you are not emotionally have enough wherewithal to turn it up.
Right.
And in those moments, it was better for me to go home and to go and rest or to go and disconnect. So we're not saying that we have to be Iron Man and you never get a rest and that you have to be an energy robot. But a lot of the times I am tired or I am busy or too distracted or got a bunch of thoughts in my head. But we choose to do what we need to do.
Well, the thing about it is that the energy that we choose in a moment, what you're saying, we're not talking about catastrophic situations in your life.
Both of those were catastrophic.
Yeah, we're not talking about, we've talked about leading while bleeding. So we're not even talking about bleeding moments. We're talking about the regular daily decision to show up with our best energy, our best self, and give what we're caring about our best.
Yeah.
And I think what has to be is that if we're not careful, if we don't choose energy first, we will choose the vibe around us. We will choose the weather that is. Mm-hmm. We will choose
be influenced by what's around instead of us influencing.
More often than not. And so this is not a, grin and bear it all the time.
No.
But this is a be aware that when I step into it, whatever the culture and vibe is, you've heard the phrase culture drifts. Like if you're not intentional to build the culture, it's going to drift into whatever is the atmosphere, the environment, the whatever around it. But this is a cultural decision, but it's an internal decision as a leader, as a person, that I'm going to choose energy. I choose it with my kids. When one of my kids gets hurt, when they were younger, especially if they were bleeding, I had to choose that I'm not going to freak them the junk out more. There's a whole lot of blood. They just cut their finger.
Yeah.
Oh crap, they might need stitches.
Yeah.
But I had a decision to make to choose to go, hey, you're okay. We're going to be okay. Let me evaluate it. Let me look at the situation. Let me see. And then let's decide if we're going to go to the doctor or not. But I had to choose my output to them, even if internally I was feeling, oh my gosh, this is disgusting or terrifying or bad. Because I recognize that I am helping set the tone for the atmosphere around me. As leaders in our home, in our job, in our churches, we're setting the tone.
Yeah.
And if we're not intentional to choose the energy, the joy, the excitement that we get to do this, we're instead allowing the things around us to set it. We're going to screw it up, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. And they're going to follow us. And so it's not fake. It's leadership.
It's leadership. You are really good at this. Like you're really good at setting the tone and at choosing energy for the moment. What are some places for you in ministry or in life that you find yourself turning the dial up for the moment?
Well, all the time
I'm saying so that people can understand.
No, it's really good.
Because it makes sense when you're holding a microphone.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm like, so those, but then also just.
But not just those. Very simply, very practically. So in my home in the morning is a super important place. Like, so as a mom in my home is a super, like, if every morning is, well, we got to get up. Oh, we got to go to work. Oh, we got to go to school. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Then that's the frantic morning that we set. If instead it's, hey, good morning. What can I get you for breakfast? I made coffee. Whatever it is, it's an intentional choice. So that's a just start your day choice.
Okay.
But then in the job, when I walk in the office in the morning, I am extremely intentional to just say hello, smile at everyone. How are you? What a great day. Even if it's a rainy, crappy day.
Even if for me,
I almost got in a car accident on the way here. Somebody was slow in front of me down turn of Warnell. And I just wanted that truck to turn out of the way, but he wouldn't. Once I pull in the parking lot, put my car in park and get out, I got to now leave all that junk in the car, leave all that emotion in the car, and I'm going to turn it up to walk in because I don't know what everybody else has faced that day. And so like my decision is that I'm going to be the stable and kind, loving boss to everyone then because I have no idea what they're facing. I don't know what job that they're stressed out about. I don't know what volunteer situation they just are navigating. I don't know what their kid said on the phone to them right when they hung up. But I know that if for me, they deserve the best from me. And they deserve to get to come to work at a great environment, at a great place. Have you ever worked at a place with a bad environment? Yes, a bad culture, but even a bad, like, just feel and vibe. And so, like, as a leader, I'm like, we will create a good environment. And so it's as simple as walking down the hallway. You and I say, take a lap. We always say, like, hey, let's go take a lap. And it's just us going in and saying hey to people because they're working hard here. They're giving their time and energy here. They're here to be a part of building the kingdom of God. And so, like, I'm going to walk in and say, hey, how are you? How's your day? So glad you're here. If I can remember, please, Lord, like something I try really hard to do is to remember something that's happening in their life, in their day, in their week, something they told me, even if it was just in passing in a hallway. Hey, how'd your thing go? Or how's your kid? Or, hey, did you get that thing in the mail that you ordered and we're excited about? Whatever it is that says, hey, I care about you. Hey, I love you. I see you. And I'm so glad you're here.
So good. You, at the very beginning, you talked about how you wake up in the morning, you're getting kids ready. And if you go, ugh, you made the sound effect.
Yes.
Ugh, we got to do the dishes. Ugh, there's laundry.
Yes.
Ugh, I got to make lunches. If your leadership always has a connected to it, who wants to, like...
Nobody wants to do...
No, who wants to follow that?
No,
who wants to be around you?
No.
And so choosing energy is not just like fake it till you make it. No. It's choose the atmosphere that you want to set.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have to put down our and pick up a yay.
Hey!
Man, let's go. This is great. Something that we do at More Church is we do a pre-service rally. And the pre-service rally starts, like 30 minutes before the service starts?
Right at 30,
And so all of our volunteers that are for that first service, they get there and they're in the lobby and there's like this big, welcome. And if you and I are out there, there's like, hey, everybody, man, it's going to be a great day. So excited. God has something great. Get ready. Thank you for being here. It's like a high energy. But do you know what I really feel in my heart whenever I'm out there? I feel the weight of the message I'm about to preach.
For sure.
So I've written a message that God's laid in my heart that usually has some serious points in it. And that message is a burden to me. It's a burden that until I'm done, I'm carrying. But if I walk out to the rally, burden, not even, but just like,
weighted.
Like bated breath, like I'm going to fight something. That is not welcoming.
No.
Or making people feel
engaging,
maybe people feel appreciated. And so it's the self-awareness of like, what are you putting off? What are you putting off? And then choose to put off what the room needs. And most of the time, what the room needs is some energy.
Well, and so what you're talking about, both of those two things. So I said about like just the day, just good morning. And you're talking about the day or the beginning of the day for our church service. But the truth is there's other times as leaders when we can feel that the energy is lacking. Recently, we've kind of been in a season where we've been doing setup and tear down on Sundays for 3 years now. We've gone through some shifts and transitions of leadership staff team, but then also in the church. And just a few weeks ago, there was this vibe that just felt like everyone was feeling kind of overwhelmed, redlined, kind of just like, man, heavy and hard. And the truth is, what we chose does not change the hard. It doesn't change that there were missing volunteers or that some people got sick and called in at the last minute. It didn't change that, but the energy in the room was like, I've got to shake this up. And as a leader, like, you have to be paying attention to what you said. Is there energy? Does it need energy? Okay, what kind of energy does it need? And what can I do to affect some change? And sometimes it's as simple as a smile. Sometimes it's a rattling or a shake up. Sometimes it's a, hey guys, come in. Let's do a little rah-rah shushkamba for like 5 minutes to get us going again. Whatever it is, but like, we have to intentionally set the tone and atmosphere, choose the energy just to start a regular day.
Yeah.
But then we also have to be aware as leaders of the times when, hey, this needs a whole new energy. This needs a whole vibe shift. And I need to be the one to help set that. We tell our team, they say the thermostat, they're not a thermometer, like, right? Is that?
Yep,
I always say it wrong. I always get insecure that I say it wrong. But we have to actually choose to do that, to set the tone. And so there have been times where I know you're stressed and heavy about something, or I know that maybe the worship team, some stuff fell apart at the last minute that they thought was going to go a certain way, or some band member didn't show up or whatever. And yet, instead of going, yeah, man, that sucks, I'm going to instead be like, no, this is the greatest day ever. You've got the greatest message to preach. Let's go do it. Hey, worship team, this is going to be awesome. God's got this. He's with you. It might come across as fake to somebody if they have a bad attitude, or if they just
if they're Eeyore,
want to be sad. But the truth is, we have to flip our perspective. And what choosing energy is just flipping the perspective of like, yes, it's cold and rainy, but it's fun and sunshiny in here. You know,
flip the perspective.
Yeah,
it's a Sunday morning. You know what I could be doing on Sunday morning? I could be digging a ditch.
Correct.
I could be not in the call that God has for my life.
Right.
I could, like, my life could be way worse than whatever I'm currently carrying.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's worth being grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
And when you can be grateful and thankful, you can flip that and choose energy, choose to have a little bit of fun.
No, exactly.
We have this thing that happens at More Church, and it only happens every couple of years, where like our service energies flip.
It's so bizarre.
So right now we're doing 2 services.
Yeah.
And it used to be our first service had more energy.
Yes.
And was more exciting and easier to preach to. But now our second service has become the more energetic, easier to preach to. They talk back, they laugh, they clap, service to preach to. And it's all about the people that are in the room.
It's all about it.
There's something about the collective group of the people that are there, of if they're sleepy or if they're ready to receive. So if you're More Church and you're watching and you're in that first service, help your boy.
Help us out.
Help us out. Now, it's not bad.
No.
But it takes a little bit more work from the stage to wake up the room.
Yeah.
But that's because of the people in the room choosing energy or not.
Yeah, you're saying it. I'm like, you're right. It's because it's bizarre to me. We've been talking about it lately. Like, why did it flip-flop? What happened? But I think it's simply the certain dynamic of certain people in the room that has shifted. Either they shifted which service they were coming to, or they shifted in themselves.
Or they shifted out of the church and they bounced.
Or they shifted away. But what you're saying also, though, is a really important piece of it. We can't be afraid to speak to it. We can't be afraid to speak. Energy as a choice is a cultural and an internal decision, but it is something we have to be totally okay with speaking to consistently.
Yeah.
And so it's something we say all the time. We say it out loud to our staff, to our volunteers, but we'll say it from the stage. There are times when I know you're about to preach something that maybe either has been heavy on you or is about to be real darn good. And so they better wake up and listen.
Yeah.
And I will actually tell them beforehand, hey, this message today, you better not leave Pastor alone. You better not just sit there and say nothing. You better speak with your mouth. You better affirm that it's good. And it's okay to choose energy for the room, to choose, hey guys, this is how we're going to behave.
Yeah.
In my house, we have had multiple times where we've had to have what we call family meeting. And it does not necessarily mean that anything is crazy and catastrophic. It sometimes just means, hey, we've had a real sarcastic attitude around the house lately. Or, hey, I've noticed a real negative vibe anytime I ask you to do anything. Or, hey, we're not helping. Dad's the only one taking the trash out. Or whatever it is. but we're going to speak to it and we're going to change it right now. And I think what we can't be afraid to do as leaders, as parents, as whatever, wherever we are, bosses, is speak to the energy in the room. Speak to, hey, we are now all collectively choosing this.
Yes.
We are going to shift it. I personally have to choose it, but now I'm going to speak to the dynamic around us and say, hey, staff team, we're going to shift the energy.
Yeah. No, it's true. Our kids, Lillian and Titus, out of the two, Titus has bigger feelings.
Yeah.
And so something I talk with Titus about a lot is I say, hey, buddy, you're in charge of your feelings. You can't let your feelings be in charge of you.
Right.
And that's true as a mom and a dad in your home.
Yeah.
We have to be in charge of our feelings, not them in us. Or else we're not growing.
Right.
We're just getting shoved into a corner that we don't really like. And it's the same as a leader.
Absolutely.
If you're a pastor and you walk into your staff team on Monday morning and the numbers were down and attendance was down,
right,
what good does it do them for you to act like you're all depressed?
Right.
Now, if you're depressed, that's a different thing. I'm saying acting depressed.
Yeah.
Choose to be thankful that your staff still showed up.
100%.
Choose to be thankful that your volunteers are there.
Right.
I know you had 4 volunteers cancel on you, and now you're scrambling. But what do the volunteers that are there deserve?
Right.
When we used to preach 4 services, I was so done by the 4th.
Yeah.
I was so done. But the people coming to the 4th service, do you know what they deserve?
Still your best.
My best.
Yeah.
My best.
Yeah.
Now, my best might not be as good as the first service because I might physiologically not have the energy, but I'm going to give them my best.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what choose energy really means.
Yeah.
Is give the people that you're leading your best.
You just made me think 2 thoughts.
Okay,
so
go.
First one is what you said. Like if there was something wrong, down, sad, whatever, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to speak to it.
Oh.
You can speak to it.
We started Harbor Weekend by saying, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Dude, we're in a weird season as our church right now.
Yeah.
We spoke to...
Some stuff feels unstable. Some stuff feels shaky. It feels crazy. So, like, it's not, again, because that would be fake to ignore it. It would be fake to act like everything's fine when it's not. So we're speaking to it, but then we are saying, but now that we have all understood that this is truth.
Yes.
What are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to shake it up. We're going to change it up. We're going to choose energy. Then the other side, oh gosh, now I lost it. I was going to forget it.
2 things.
You said, what was the last thing you said?
I said a bunch of good stuff.
I know. It was all good. Oh man, keep going.
About how we have to set the tone. I don't remember.
I don't know. Darn. It was so good. It was going to be a great vein of where to go next. Dang it. What did you say? You keep talking. Now I'll think of something.
I talked about how even though it's heavy or sad, we can't just walk in and as when I was preaching 4 services,
yes.
how the last
best.
service deserved my best.
Yeah.
What we're putting off as leaders should not just be about what we feel, but about what they need.
Right.
So like William Wallace in Braveheart, he's riding in front of the men. Today, we choose freedom, right?
Right.
The dude had to be scared to death.
100%.
But what his men needed in that in all the movies, every movie where there's a locker room and there's a coach giving them a big speech, what the team needs is not what the coach feels.
Right.
It's what the coach believes they need. And as leaders, we have to understand that sometimes we have to choose something contrary to what we feel.
Absolutely, because we're going to have all kind of feelings. I got it. I know where I was going to go.
Okay, go.
Second thing, what you said about 4 services, your 4th service, you said, I'm still going to give them my best. But in order to choose energy in that 4th service, there were still things that you had to do ahead of time in order to make sure you could still provide your best.
Yep.
So choosing energy is not always just a willpower.
Right.
There is discipline required in order to choose energy. You, in that season, we would have, we actually had 2 meal times that we scheduled into our mornings so that we could keep our team, our worship team, they're singing 4 times the same worship set. Our leadership team, you preaching, good grief. And we would have 2 different times in the day where we'd stop and take sustenance so that we could keep going.
Yeah.
And if I did not eat, like there were times where I would be so busy that I would just not eat anything until that 4th service. I would be spent. And I can't
crashed.
Totally crashed. And so that's on me. I could not choose the energy because I also didn't choose to discipline myself enough to eat the food.
So good. I would go to bed.
Yep.
I was more disciplined when we were doing 4 services than I am now that we're doing 2.
Correct. Right.
Now that we're doing 2, I don't have to really harsh put myself in bed.
Right.
Doing 4 services, I was in bed on Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Right.
In bed. Not like on the couch, I need to brush my teeth. No,
right.
In my bed, lights off at 9 o'clock.
Right.
For that 4th service.
Right. So for our team now,
I was not eating any sugar on Saturday because I knew
I can't crash.
I can't crash
Absolutely.
on Saturday.
I have to drink enough water so that I can communicate without getting all dry and all like. There are so many intentional things behind choosing energy because there are going to be times when the catastrophic happens. There's been more than 2 catastrophic things that you've walked through in the last 7 years.
Yes.
But there were only 2 times where it was just so overwhelming you couldn't do it. Why?
I couldn't
because
choose it.
you
I was
are
tapped.
you were tapped then, but you in all the other times had enough energy in the tank to still keep going even while bleeding and leading at the same time. Because we have to be disciplined enough. We have to go to bed on time. I mean, these are silly things that seem like, no, they're real intentional. You and I, one of our thing we talk about probably the most is guarding our heart.
Yeah.
And we talk about it with each other. We talk about it with our team. And like we are, our spouses, the 4 of us, like we're so intentional to like pull out any root of bitterness or any like offense that we feel, because if we don't, it'll grow. Well, if I let that grow so hard, there's no way I'm going to choose energy in 3 weeks. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And so like there's intentional discipline, discipleship of our own selves that we have to do consistently if we're going to be able to choose energy in the moment when something's redlining.
And it's really good. I'm really glad that you brought that up because, and if you find yourself unable to choose energy, then maybe you have a real like issue that you need to look at.
Right.
Like one of those seasons that we're talking about that I was like in a hole, and it was after 4 services and all that, I suffered what my doctor told me was adrenal fatigue.
Yeah.
So in your body, there's a bunch of different names for it, but you have adrenal glands that adrenaline is produced that you hype yourself up. And I had done that so many times without taking care of myself that I suffered real adrenal fatigue.
Yeah.
And so my body was struggling.
Yeah.
And so I went in, got some blood work done, and found out that I was majorly vitamin D deficient.
Yeah.
Which most of America is vitamin D deficient.
Yeah.
And
all of Seattle.
And I was chronically dehydrated.
Right.
And so literally drinking more water and taking vitamin D with K2. So don't just take vitamin D.
Gotta have that K2.
It has to have K2 with it.
That's true.
That it has changed my energy levels in every aspect of life.
Right.
If your car isn't running good, you don't need a paint job.
Right.
You've got to open the hood. And so like if you're listening to this and you're getting kind of mad at us because you're like, yeah, but I just can't. Well, maybe you need to go to bed on time and quit eating a bunch of crap.
Maybe you need to find a real friend you can be actually vulnerable to.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to
go to a doctor and ask a doctor like, hey, I've been feeling kind of weird. Can we get some blood work done?
Right.
Like, can you help me? Maybe you need to put your phone down so you can actually fall asleep before 2 a.m.
Absolutely.
Like, maybe you're not tired. Maybe you're just a bad steward of the energy God's given you.
Right. It's really true.
Dude, I look at these young adults that live off energy drinks.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not a long-term solution for energy.
No, not at all.
Because caffeine is going to run out. It's only going to work for so long, and then your body's going to, like, I know guys that are drinking 4 energy drinks a day to just get through it who are in their 20s.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, bro, good luck. Good luck when you're 40.
But then they're taking 3 melatonins at night to go to sleep. Like you have to find the right balance of health, rest, emotional health, all those pieces in order to ever get to being able to be at the healthy place to choose energy as a choice. Tony Robbins is the guy you said who said it. Well, that Joker is disciplined in his life.
Yeah.
There are things, I mean, he's all yoked up and all the things too, but like I know a little bit about him that I've learned over the years. Like when you look at his life and the strategy of his life, he is not just willy-nilly haphazarding it. No, tugging into more requires discipline and a choice to have the energy.
You've heard said a body in motion tends to stay in motion.
Right.
And so like if you're having a hard time choosing energy, maybe start working out a little bit.
Yeah.
Start trying to eat a little bit better.
Yeah. Maybe there's
take some vitamins,
that needs to change.
Go sit in a sauna, do a cold plunge. I don't know what you need to do.
Right.
I don't do all those things. I did a cold plunge the other day. Dude, it was not fun. I did legs and my legs were so sore and I was doing like this big physical illustration of my sermon and I'd done legs too deep in the week. And so Rachel and I, we went and got in the hot tub and then the cold plunge like 3 times. I thought I was about to have a heart attack in the cold plunge. But just really take some stock in yourself. I think as Christians, you know, we're Christians, and I think that a lot of our audience are Jesus followers. If not, check out Jesus. He's the best. I think that a lot of times as Christians that we just think, we'll just pray it away.
Right.
Just pray it away. Just have faith. Just, you know, pray and speak in tongues or read a Bible verse, and then I can do all things through Christ. Well, yeah, but like we live in a flesh body.
Right.
And like if we're not taking decent care of our flesh body, it's not going to do what we want it to do.
No, it's really true. It's super important. And as you were talking about it, I just thought the only way you can consistently choose energy and lead by example is by leading by example in all of those areas. So it's important. Okay, what else do we want to talk about as far as energy as a choice to help people understand what that looks like?
I have followed people who are always womp womps.
Yeah.
And if you're always a womp womp, like we have a mutual pastor friend who is going through staff like crazy.
Right.
We just talked about that. And it's like they have massive staff turnover all the time in a smaller church. And I think that one of the reasons is because they're womp womp.
Yeah.
There's never a like, hey guys, we're doing a good job.
Right.
I don't know.
No, you're right.
I don't know. So we could ramble on about it.
No,
I think
it's good. Just understanding that if you want to step into more, if you want to tug into more, then you have to determine that 9 times out of 10, you have to be the one to say, hey, we're choosing energy today. And if you'll determine that for you, don't worry about everybody else around you. Let them figure it out for themselves. But for you, determine that and then set the example for those that are following you.
Yeah.
And hopefully.
Where are the places that you want to change your energy?
Oh, it's super good.
Do you want to change the energy in your home? Okay. Then when you wake up in the morning, it's not,
right.
I have to make kids lunches. Stop doing that.
Yeah, stop saying that.
Look at yourself in the mirror, smack yourself around, say, I don't want to be Eeyore anymore.
That's really good.
Fix it. Where do you want to change it? Do you want to change it when you get to church? First service?
Right.
Really? Like,
come on,
do you want to change it there?
Yeah.
Do you want to change it when it's just something God had spoke to me over a year ago was that I needed to work on my friendship with my wife.
Right. Yeah.
That's a whole episode that we could do.
Yeah.
Working on your friendship in your marriage. And so do you know what that really was God telling me? Was he was telling me I needed to change your energy output towards Rachel.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I'm really good at giving energy at the church 9 to 5.
Right.
And then I'm even really good giving the kids energy from 5 to bedtime.
Yeah.
But how have I been giving energy to Rachel from 9 o'clock until we go to bed?
Right.
Man, I was not choosing energy.
No, it's really good.
I was giving everybody else energy, and I was coming home and I was being emotionally, mentally turned off, worn out with her. And so what did I have to do? I had to guard my energy during the day, manage it, and then make sure that I have something to give her. All I'm saying is we have to ask,
it's really good.
Where do we have to give better energy output?
Where do I want to give better energy? And then where do I feel drained the most? I think that's for me one that I've had to learn. Like what do I leave feeling drained from?
Yeah, sideways energy.
Yeah, what sideways energy am I giving that's draining me that I can release, or that I can step away from, or that I just need to shake something up in the midst of whatever that is, to then be able to more easily choose the energy. Because if I'm having to choose willpower energy every day and every moment, something's out of whack. And so what disciplines do I need to adjust? And then what sideways energy do I need to release so that I can feel energetic as a baseline most of the time? I think for me, especially my personality, I thrive in that. I don't want to, it's not difficult usually for me to bring the energy because I already have it. And so you've got to look at yourself and go, okay, what's my normal baseline and where do I want it to be? And how can I adjust that? It's an important piece in tugging into more.
Guys, we want to help you in every aspect of life, leadership, ministry, just following Jesus, growing your family. And so if there's any questions, if you have any questions about how to bring the energy, or maybe a challenge that you're facing, or maybe you disagree with something that we said,
that's fine.
Men would love to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Reach out, shoot us a comment, like, tag, share, follow, all the things. Man, so good.
Yes. Love y'all.
See you next time.